How's it going out there, YouTube? My name is Jesse, and this is another...
Lost Heroes of the Golden Age.
Yes, this is another Lost Heroes of the Golden Age, and this time we are doing...
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
No, the Hunchback of Notre Dame came out in 1831, I believe.
The movie came out in 1939, smart guy.
Yeah, be that as it may. The hero is inspired by the Hunchback, but he's not the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
What hero would want to be a loathsome and deplorable creature like the Hunchback?
This hero would.
So you're seriously not doing the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Although there have been many Hunchback of Notre Dame comic books, I think Marvel even had a mini-series of it for a while, I don't do movie comics. Of course, I think there might actually be sets of comic books based on old books. I don't do those either. So what we're doing is we're doing a short-lived hero for the month of October, where we're doing loathsome, deplorable, or Halloween-themed creatures for this month. And we have the Hunchback. I think that this hero would have been interesting to keep around for a while, and I don't know if any other heroes could have drawn inspiration from him being 1940, but there are a lot of heroes that were doing some of the stuff in the way he did it after he premiered, but only having 4 issues in Fawcett Comics. I doubt anybody was drawing any great inspiration from him. The violence that was depicted in the Hunchback comic books might not have passed the Comic Code Authority when it finally came out, but it's a little bit more brutal than you would think. So let's go ahead and cover the Hunchback. I thought that this was a villain at first, because there have been villains that have had their own stories in comic books, the Claw being one of the most well-known ones. So I thought that's what this was, but this actually did turn out to be a hero. So let's do the overview and then the first appearance, and you could see what they would have done if they had kept this particular storyline going. Let's do this. The Hunchback, Alan Lanier. This is a strange one. He only had 4 appearances, and I can't even understand why he would want to go out as the Hunchback. Now, he is a wealthy playboy socialite, so it's not like he needed a job or anything. And the only other person to know his identity was his girlfriend, but you'll see why he had to reveal that with the first issue, and they'll say why he's the Hunchback in the first issue. That's completely ridiculous in my opinion. Now, while reading these stories, they pretty much follow the same trajectory. Something happens, he fights the entire gang to achieve his objective. And the last 3, they all had to deal with explosions or something. And even in the 4th issue, he exposes a crooked DA. Now, in the first few issues, he doesn't kill anybody. He comes really close. But there was, in the last issue, he unattendedly killed somebody, was responsible for a death, and then outright killed the crooked DA. But I didn't want to say that he had any powers, because they never alluded to that. But with what he does, he doesn't have super strength, he's not super durability, but I believe he has, for what he does, he has enhanced strength, enhanced durability, enhanced speed, and enhanced agility. It's the only way he could accomplish what he did. And the reason I say speed is nobody was able to get to the point where they could knock him out. He was moving in a ways that only enhanced agility would explain. The way he was tearing through people and pulling things off the walls and knocking out people, there had to be enhanced strength. And the fact that he's constantly throwing himself around and crashing into people had to mean he had enhanced durability. So, super, no. Enhanced, yes. There isn't much more to lead in about this. No cover features, no featured stories. And in his very last appearance, there would not be a appearing in the next issue of. So, let's go ahead and review the first appearance. No origin, just an appearance, so you can get an idea of the Hunchback. Oh, there is one more thing I want to mention. In his second appearance, they actually tried to go a little more costume with him. The yellow belt, yellow boots, and his nice little hat with a feather in it, kind of Robin Hood-esque, but the hat only existed for the issue number 3, his second appearance. They abandoned that one real quickly. I guess he didn't look grotesque enough wearing a costume. I don't see why he had to go grotesque in the first place. Anyways, let's go ahead and cover the Hunchback. Alan Lanier, pampered, wealthy playboy, has a secret hobby that gradually becomes his ruling passion, the fighting of crime. Seeing the picture, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, made such a deep impression on him that he has been living in the spirit of this character for years. At the first sign of crime, he changes into this personality and becomes the very nemesis of crime. The mere mention of his name sends the denizens of the underworld into spasms of fear and trepidation. Hunchback, Hunchback, the underworld trembles. And then you see a couple of pictures over here. Opera tonight. Okay, and then we cut over to Alan Lanier and his tasty little girlfriend here. Again immersed in crime, Sir Sherlock? Sure, Sherlock. Betty, every red-blooded American should fight crime tooth and nail. You haven't noticed me all evening. He doesn't really need to. I'm rich and I'll use my money to wipe out crime. Why don't you form a partnership with Hunchback? He seems to do rather well. Well, maybe I will. Better hurry for the show. Okay, so we see the two of them jumping into the car. He's a wealthy socialite, you know. And then we cut over to, well, you see, yeah, he's getting escorted to the car. And then we see the cut to what appears to be the Scorpion gang. You bungled that job, you Scorpion. Give me a chance. Let me explain. Failure is not an option. Okay. So the Scorpion throws him outside of the window, and he crashes right at Alan's car is right under Limpy's crashing body. It looked like he crashed into the side of it, not on top of it. Anyways, they come out. He automatically says this is the work of the Scorpion. I guess the Scorpion is the only person who throws guys from a tall building. Look, Alan, from way up there. Come on, Betty, we're going up there. Why? You're not in your Hunchback persona. You're not the police. You have absolutely no business going up there. He goes over to the building. Get me up there as fast as you can. Boss, I'll burn the cables. No, that wouldn't do anybody any good. So this Alan and his girlfriend get up to the top floor, and they notice that the door is open, and they walk all in. Okay, why? Why did you bring your girlfriend? Why didn't you just say, hey, take her to the show while I investigate this? I mean, this is ridiculous. So they're investigating the room, and she doesn't want to stay. She says she's going to go home. So as she's leaving, he's like, "Hey, mucks, take your hat off, or take your hats off. There's a lady present." And as she is going down the elevator, Alan hears a scream while he's investigating the scene of a crime, which he has no police jurisdiction. He's not in costume. He has no reason to even be here. If the cops would show up, all of a sudden they would arrest him for obstruction. Okay, so he looks out the window and he sees them hauling Betty into a car, so he quickly switches into his Hunchback identity, which this only has the yellow boots. So he becomes the Hunchback and jumps out the window to the window washer scaffolding and then uses that to get to the ground. This is what I meant about enhanced durability and enhanced agilities. I mean, there are superheroes today who wouldn't do something this stupid. Of course, they'd have an ability to fly or levitate in some way. Okay, so he catches up to the car that he saw her being dragged into, and I thought I'd catch them. Oh, why? They were in a speeding car. You see, this is why I think he's got some enhanced speed. He can't see if Betty is in there, so he busts into the car. The Hunchback! Now, to free Betty. Okay, you thought your girlfriend was in the car, so you figured the best option was to break through the back window and cause the car to crash. That was your best option for saving your girlfriend. That is the stupidest thing you could have done, because it looks like right here they crashed right into the fire hydrant. So he starts beating up the bad guys, and when he looks in there, she doesn't seem to be in there. Yeah, she'd probably be some suffering from trauma if she was, so it's a good thing. Okay, as he's strangling this guy, he's like, "Where is she?" And he said that the Scorpion snatched her off into another car. He must have done that awful quickly, because as far as the Hunchback's vantage point, she went out in the car that he tracked down. So he makes short work of the bad guys with this cane, knocks them all about, and then calls up the police and says that he's got a group of people that he's knocked out. And then when he gets home, there's a telegram, and it's really weird. Okay, it says, "Telegram up at Uncle Tim's farm. Sick of your crime snooping, Betty. Funny, Betty got away from the Scorpion that night and left without seeing me. Must be pretty sore. First of all, those guys said that the Scorpion took her in another car. Just because you got a telegram, why would you assume Betty got away? Second of all, how did they know that she is tired of your crime snooping? They weren't anywhere near the conversation where she said she had enough of it. So how did they know enough information to send this telegram? A man just left this for you, sir. Thanks, Roger." And then he gets this note. "Here's your girl's pin. Keep your snot out of our business or I'll send her back to you piece by piece." Yes, because he showed up at a crime scene he had no business being a part of. Now, if the Scorpion was going to send this note to him, telling him to keep his nose out of the business, why did they bother sending the telegram? "Oh, Betty must have got away. We've got your girl." The actions here are majorly conflicting with each other. I mean, either you want him to think that the girl is gone, or you want them to know that you got the girl. I don't see why both actions were necessary. Anyways. And I was dumb enough to fall for a fake telegram. Why did you think your girlfriend got away from the Scorpion in the first place? And here I've been around in comfort. What a bonehead. Okay, so he changes into the Hunchback, and the one I seek will be in the surgical ward. So he goes to the city hospital and moves in quietly to find the thugs that he had just thoroughly trounced. So he goes over and "Whisper to me, where is the Scorpion's hideout? tell me where that beast is, or I'll squeeze your Adam's apple through your spine. Now, before I read his last issue, I would have said that this is just threatening. He wouldn't actually kill him. But considering what I saw in his last issue, I honestly think he would have killed him if not given the information he sought. So I guess he told him some information. Give me a bum steer and I'll come back and tear you into small pieces. So he leaves the hospital. The Scorpion makes his headquarters in an abandoned subway. He'll use one track, having a storage battery powered train. So the Scorpion is setting up this his network with an abandoned subway tunnel. It's actually not a bad idea. It allows you a measure of escaping if somebody comes after you. But another ride to say, why would you ride a subway if the whole thing is, never mind. It's an abandoned subway. Hey Slug, it's the Hunchback. Holy saints, let me out of here. So the Hunchback, they draw a gun on him and he still thoroughly trounces them, and I guess the conductor comes out too, and he makes short work of him as well. And this one's for Betty. Now, we saw that he was in a train car beating up this guy. I guess he must have gotten out of the train car. I mean, we see him beating up a guy in blue, and by the time we get to the end, he's still beating up a guy with blue, but he's in an office. He's not in a train car anymore. I thought he was in the train car. They showed us him beating up guys in the train car. Now he's in an office. And then this guy jumps out the window. Anything to get away from the Hunchback. So now he's in the train car again. Did somebody draw the paneling wrong? I mean, he beats this guy up for like 5 panels. And in the very last panel, they show him in an office room. But he jumps out the subway car window. Another added accomplishment, motorman on a subway train. I have no idea what that sentence means. That guy's always late. Scorpion's waiting for them extra guns. Yeah, say, look at that ugly pan in the window. Now they recognize it's the Hunchback. I'm about to say, the Hunchback is striking fear in the underworld. He should have been recognized right away. So he starts going through and making short work of all of Scorpion's men, which will be every issue. He just faces no problems at all. Just beats up everybody. And this guy draws in on, don't come one step closer, I'll blow your head off. If you come one step near, you devil, you've broken my wrist. Now I'll break your neck. Crack. Oh, I guess he did kill somebody. Well, a broken neck doesn't necessarily mean that. Oh, that's the Scorpion right there. Okay, yeah. I just got so into him beating up everyone, I didn't realize we got into the Scorpion yet. Just because he broke his neck doesn't mean that he necessarily killed him, but I guess they're trying to go with that. And I'm going to go ahead and read the last few pages in here. He found the locked door where she's being held, and she busts in. And this is kind of weird. And I'll reference why I think it's weird here in a second. Don't come near me. Don't touch me. But I came to free you, to help you. I hate you, you lonesome toad. Stay away from me. I don't want to do this, Betty, but now I am the Hunchback. You, Alan, you're the Hunchback. Oh, my darling. In the very beginning of the story, the third panel in, she said, "Why, if you want to fight crime, why don't you work with the Hunchback?" But right here, I hate you, you lonesome toad. Stay away from me. If she hates the Hunchback, why would she say to her boyfriend, why don't you work with the Hunchback? She's like, why don't you work with that terrible or cruel or ugly Hunchback? And it also shows how superficial she is. The Hunchback just beats up everybody, kills the main gangster, comes in to help her, and she says, "Don't come near me, don't touch me." I don't care if I am rescued by a Gilligothwin. That's not going to translate well when everybody saw Dogma. I don't care if I get rescued by the most loathsome looking creature on the planet. I am going to be grateful for somebody who saved me if I found myself in a situation where I need saving. I don't care who it is. She automatically just, I hate you, you're loathsome, you're terrible. It's like, jeez, this is how you treat your rescuer? And then he had to reveal herself, so to be, "Oh, you're the Hunchback, oh my darling." No. Nope. I'm over it, done with it. That's the Hunchback. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that this October month we've done everything that we promised with showing you Halloween-themed heroes. I think we have time for 2 more, and I've got them lined up already. And these ones, they're definitely appropriate. So, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned next week. Until then, I'll be seeing you.